Alright, let's get right into it. Goddamn, the biggest Black Ops 7 reveal, mistaken how to turn it around by exclusive Ace. I'm want to hear this shit. I gotta hear this shit. Showdown.
What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today I wanted to dive deeper into the biggest mistake that I feel they've made with the recent reveal for Black Ops 7, and this is carry forward with no apparent skin filter being added. Now, I know I've talked about this a lot with Black Ops 6, and I have brought up this point multiple times since the reveal, but I feel this is worth a dedicated video focused directly
That's a good topic, but before I say it, let me see what he said.
on
Just a
Black
little
Ops
bit. Let me see
7,
what he said.
because for many, this is the one big sticking point from the reveal that immediately killed any hype that they otherwise would have had for the game.
That
And I
is
know for
true.
me, it put a hard cap on my level of excitement for the game. I was really liking the clips I was seeing, I was liking all of the bits of information we were getting from them regarding specific gameplay changes and improvements they're making for the game. But then the moment I saw carry forward and I looked deeper into the exceptions they noted, which didn't include many of the operator skins that many of us would want to be included in those exceptions, that threw a huge wrench in my level of excitement. And for many, they're pointing to this as the deal breaker. They're not getting the game because of this. And this has been a pretty widespread complaint.
Yeah, most people that's saying that's full of shit, they're still gonna get it. Um, Never forget that these skins are here because people buy them. If they didn't buy them, the skins would not be here. Activision is a ruthless company. They're up there with EA and Ubisoft. They're vicious with it. If something's not selling, it's getting gutted. We're here today because people just would not stop buying them, me included. I'm not gonna throw myself out of the loop. Now it's been a while since I bought an ass of skins. I'm like, I might be down to maybe one skin. Shit, for the last couple Call of Duties, maybe one skin the whole fucking life cycle. Black Ops 7, Black Ops 6. I don't even think I bought a skin for Black Ops 6. I uh, I can't think of any skin I bought for Black Ops 6. So, shit, I don't know.
At least within the vocal community. Obviously, it is hard to quantify how many people actually feel this way, but I've seen an overwhelming number of comments pointing to this as a big negative and potentially even a deal breaker for many. In fact, as far as specific complaints go, we're not talking about the big picture franchise issues like SBMM, disbanding lobbies, the anti-cheat system, but as far as complaints that are focused on Black Ops
Those things that I've already made, fucking, I can't even tell how many videos I made on that. You can just let that shit go. That shit's never leaving.
7 and the reveal for Black Ops 7, I haven't really been seeing too many complaints outside of this major complaint. So this is the one big negative from the reveal. And I feel like it's just one of those areas where they're teed up for an easy win. If the developers were to announce something like a skin filter, which we're going to be talking about, I'm going to have some specific suggestions and pieces of feedback here. If they were to announce something like that at like COD Next, for instance, that would be a massive win in the eyes of the community. And I think it would turn a lot of the negativity around. Obviously, there are still the bigger picture franchise issues that have been pushing people away, and that will still push them away. A skin filter won't be enough. However, I still think this would be a massive win in the eyes of the community. I do want to acknowledge, for many, they don't really care about this at all. The character skins that you see in the game are totally irrelevant for them. But as I said, for many, this is a really big deal and a deal breaker. Especially
I disagree. I believe that um it's it's not that much people who who really don't fuck with it. Most, like you said, most people don't care. And I think it's like maybe like a small amount of people who really give a fuck about skins. Like I've said before, like I just said like a couple minutes ago, if the shit wasn't selling, they wouldn't be here. So someone's buying it, and they're buying enough of it for them to just keep repeating the same old shit. Um, the little bit of mil sim skins that they do have in the stores, I've never seen anybody running around with them. Not as much as I see the colorful rainbow ones and the character ones. I mean, every time they drop one of those, like the Terminator skin, the Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles, they're in every fucking lobby. They're everywhere. So obviously, which comes down to, it's really the older fan base, like the guys from Black Ops 2 or maybe MW2, that's still holding on to a series that's clearly left them behind a long time ago. I spoke about this a long time ago as well. Is that it's like that girl that you know the relationship is over, but you're still hanging on thinking that shit gonna get better. Like, it's not gonna get any better. It's never gonna get better. It's over. And that's what you have. You have a lot of guys from MW2, the original Black Ops 1, they still clinging on to that old memory Call of Duty. Those Call of Duties are gone. The people that made them they probably don't even work for Activision, Treyarch, no those studios anymore. They're gone. They've been get the fuck on. So what you have now is a new generation of people, and they're playing it their way. So I mean, you just gotta let it go at this point.
Especially with how ridiculous the skins got in Black Ops 6 relative to franchise history. I know Call of Duty hasn't always been like the pinnacle of realism or anything, and there's absolutely been wacky skins integrated over the years, but it got really bad in Black Ops 6 really early on, and it flooded the game very heavily. And for many of us, it's not even about realism and having the game look exactly like a milsim or anything. For many of us, it's just about having some semblance of immersion into the world that they've created, as well as the absolute bare minimum of a cohesive art style. From the clips we've been seeing, I really like the world building that went into Black Ops 7 so far. Yes, it's futuristic and a little bit out there in certain areas, but that's kind of to be expected with a more futuristic shooter. And again, for me, it's not about perfect realism. It's more so just grounding the skins at least somewhat in the general theme and setting of the game. So like even the Vault Edition skins they've announced, I definitely wouldn't call those super grounded skins.
Hey, look at that shit. I mean, look at that shit, bro. If I took that Call of Duty title off, you would think it's some shit for Splitgate or something. You would think it's like a fucking that's not really Destiny's art style. You would think it's some goddamn Steam game. That looks fucking ridiculous, man. That looks look at the weapons. Look at it. I mean, uh,
looking 10 years into the future, for instance, but they at least do fit with the world that they've built here. And the general art style is consistent with the art style of the game. So I'm actually fine with these Vault Edition skins for this game.
and that ain't nothing but Battery and Reaper in a new skin. It just so you can expect them for that just to be repeated over and over, season, just the same old skin with a different color. So they're gonna reuse the fuck out of that.
But I'm
shit.
not fine with, and what I think will completely kill any sort of the great aesthetics and world building they've made here for multiplayer, are Beavis and Butthead, or American Dad skins, or Ninja Turtles, or human animal hybrids,
That's
whatever
a damn
this thing
shame.
is. That's the kind of stuff that just destroys the
That's
world
a
building and
damn
aesthetic that they've
shame,
created for the game. So this
Look
is
at
why
that
I think
shit.
if
What
they're
is
carrying
that?
these skins forward and they're going to continue to bring in more and more wacky skins that have nothing to do with the art style of the game, I think a skin toggle makes a lot of sense here. And by skin toggle, I mean having the ability on your end to go in the settings and toggle on a setting that disables the really wacky and out there skins to varying degrees, and we'll talk about that pretty soon here. But to me, a skin toggle makes sense because by not having a skin toggle and bringing
Damn,
these
nigga, they remaking Raid again. You get Raid again out the gate. You ain't think of nothing else. Boy, it's been about what? Boy, had it been pushing at least close to a decade. You ain't come up with nothing new. We still redoing the same old format. So let me guess. This game gonna have fire and range, raid. Some it ain't too far behind. Some it in there too. We already know Nuketown's coming back. I mean, god
really
damn.
wacky, completely out there skins into the game, that's clearly turning people away. It's killing the hype for a lot of people, and it will be pushing a portion of the community away from the game and possibly even franchise entirely. So they'll be losing sales of the base game from these people, as well as potentially Battle Pass
And active camo is back. That's great. That's fucking great.
sales that they otherwise would have had. Maybe they'll lose out on a Game Pass subscription that somebody would have kept in order to play Call of Duty, but now they're not interested. And also, they're potentially losing out on bundle sales from those people for the more immersive bundles that those players maybe would have actually been interested in buying. And that's not even mentioning the general harm that these skins are doing to the brand. It really feels like they're trying to make a quick buck here. Yes, there are certain groups that are obviously dropping a lot of money on these skins, but that short-term gain in those skin sales is, I think, going to be having a long-term harm on the brand identity. So I do feel there are quite a few negatives by not having a skin filter if they're going to be bringing these wacky skins back, which they are. Whereas on the flip side of that, the negatives there would be maybe a little bit of backlash and some upset people that want to ensure that every person in their games will see the skin that they paid money for, because it is an FPS game after all.
You want people to see your skin, you're a fucking retard.
And therefore other people are seeing your skin way more than you are seeing your skin. But for those people, I feel like the backlash against that
Okay. I like a SATCOM and maybe AGR and what a Pred missile. maybe. His specialist looks like he got on C4, maybe a flashbang, and possibly,
That would be far less than the current backlash we're seeing by not having a skin filter and by forcing this carry forward in. Sure, you'd have a few people that aren't too happy about this decision because they want everybody to see the skin they paid for, but will it be enough to turn them away from the game and franchise entirely? I don't think so, at least not to the same degree that they're pushing the other people away by not having this.
Of course not. They're not pushing it. I just said it again. The people that they're pushing away are people that they don't want anymore. They don't want that crowd. That crowd that's been around since the original Call of Duties. They don't want you anymore because right around this time, most of y'all are probably in college, or you already got 2, 3 kids. You probably got a long-term girlfriend, or you just maybe into your career. You don't have that time and energy to put in a Call of Duty like you used to when you were like 18, 19, 16, or maybe even younger than that. So they don't want you no more. They want the young guy. They want the guys still in school. They want the guys that ain't in really college yet. They want those guys that's gonna be able to play and play and play and play and play and put that time in and then put that money in. So
Additionally, this filter would be off by default, of course, so the average person probably wouldn't even navigate through the menus to turn this on or anything, so most of the people in the lobby would still be seeing your skins that you paid for. Plus, you have no idea if they have the toggle on or off, so you can always just go in assuming everybody is seeing the skin that you paid for. And you'll never know any different unless you're like specifically asking people if they turn the toggle on. The gameplay experience for them will be no different than if this toggle doesn't exist. Whereas the toggle would make a very big difference for many people, like myself, that want to maintain the general world building and aesthetic. And just a note here, while I don't play COD Mobile, a lot of people have been letting me know that they actually have a skin filter in COD Mobile. So there is some precedence within the Call of Duty franchise for something like this. I don't think it's totally impossible. And to be clear, there should be zero technical limitations to do this as well. My understanding is this would actually
damn, I didn't know that was in COD Mobile.
be a fairly easy thing to implement on a technical level. And I think there's a couple different routes they could go with when it comes to a skin toggle. I think the very easy win that would be the easiest to implement as well is a toggle to simply disable any carry forward operator skins from Black Ops 6 in Black Ops 7. So this toggle only turns off Black Ops 6 skins, so any Black Ops 6 skins that anybody's using, it will automatically change.
Just a side note, like the last 3, I've noticed just real quick. Most of the gunfights he was in is somebody sliding and jumping around the corner. Um, I'm telling you, this Call of Duty here with the Omni movement, the boost jumping, the fucking sliding, that's another thing that's gonna kill the game very quickly. Super competitive lobbies are gonna turn off most casual people, which would be mostly that is a huge majority of the crowd too. People, the casual players. Yeah, if they feel like they can't keep up, they're out of there as well. So
into a Black Ops 7 skin. And on that note, any skin that gets changed by a skin toggle, I'm actually fine with them using that as a way to advertise the skins in the store, as long as those skins fit with the aesthetic of the game. So that could actually be another upside for Activision here. For those players that turn the toggle on, instead of them seeing a skin from a previous game that they likely can't even buy anymore, it's not available in any store, they can show us a skin for the current game that we can buy. And therefore, they may increase the chance of making sales for those skins because they're showing them to us as we're playing the game. And when it comes to this toggle, I think this would be the easiest to implement because you wouldn't have to categorize each individual skin or anything. It's either a Black Ops 6 skin or a Black Ops 7 skin, and this would just turn off the Black Ops 6 skins. Also, I think in this case, the argument against this doesn't hold as much weight because for those people that would be upset that people can't see their Black Ops 6 skins in Black Ops 7, you paid for that skin in Black Ops 6, and throughout the entire life cycle within Black Ops 6, everybody saw it. So having that skin carry forward to Black Ops 7 is a bonus for you. It's not what you actually paid for to begin with. So if people want to turn that off and they don't want to see that skin that you paid for in a different game, then that's totally fine. Just be happy with that bonus of you being able to put that skin on in the first place in a game you didn't even pay to use that skin for. So I think that would be the easiest implementation, and that would still be seen as quite a big win in the community. I'd be quite happy to see that. Although ideally, what I would like to see, and I'm sure many would agree with me here, is an actual immersion filter. which would be more complex than the previous option because each skin, Black Ops 6 or Black Ops 7, would have to be individually categorized, and they'd have to decide what is considered immersive or not immersive, what fits into the world and what doesn't. And with a bunch of the skins, it would be a bit of a gray area. Like, where exactly do you draw that line? It is a little difficult. So there would be added complexity there. Plus, the people against it would have at least a little bit more ammunition against it, because if they're paying for a skin in Black Ops 7, they want everybody in Black Ops 7 to see the skin that they paid for.
But what the thing about the immersion is like, how does that work? Because you already got people jumping around, you already got people flying and shit, and all type of different specialists and people going invisible, and laser guns are gonna be in the game. Like, I don't know. When I think of immersion, I guess immersion just fitting, like he said, just fitting the style of the game. But when I think of immersion, I just can't get like a military style thing out of my head. Like, I've never played like Destiny and been immersed with being in space and shit. I my thing is, if the game has a good soundtrack, maybe that'll get you real. That'll get you really into the game. But when I think of Virgin, I just think of like military shooters. I don't know. I think of being in war, but maybe I could be wrong on that. I whatever.
The positives with this, though, is I fully expect that Black Ops 7 will be bringing wacky skins into the game over time. It seems inevitable at this point. And while the previous filter I talked about would be great at preventing that massive wave of crazy, wacky, out there skins from Black Ops 6 the moment Season 1 drops, at the end of the day, it wouldn't disable the Black Ops 7 skins, and there's bound to be wacky ones that ruin the aesthetic of the game slowly over time. It'll be more of a slow trickle rather than a big wave all at once. So this second option of having an actual immersion filter that also applies to Black Ops 7 skins, that would mean that we can actually enjoy the aesthetic that they created for the game throughout the entire life cycle of the game. And that, for me, after seeing what's happened in recent years with the wacky skins, would be a huge selling point for the game. I'd be very happy to see something like that. So it would require a bit more work. I think there would be more positives attached to that for a lot of people, but I can acknowledge that it won't be as easy to implement as
That bitch in the back of the map camping behind a fucking tree. And you tell me a game putting active camo back in, and boy.
First option, and therefore I would be fine with at least the first option where you can just disable the Black Ops 6 skins. And I really think if that's something they were to announce at Call of Duty Next, for instance, that would be seen as a very big win in the community, and I think it would turn at least a portion of the negativity around for the game. Now, as I said, there's still going to be negativity, and I think a lot of rightful negativity when it comes to the bigger picture franchise issues, but they've got such an easy opportunity teed up here for a big win. So I really hope this is something they are looking into seriously and would consider adding to Black Ops 7 before launch, or at the very least before Season 1 drops.
Nigga, before they add a skin filter, nigga, skill-based matchmaking will be gone. And we know that's never gonna happen. They are not hiding no goddamn skins. That shit ain't happening. Not in this lifetime or the next or the next. They want people to see them skins, because for a lot of people, when they see them skins, I've been on the mic, I've been in Discords. When people see that shit, they're like, "Yo, where'd you get that?" And I'm telling you, they're not filtering out skins.
Now, of course, these are all just my thoughts and opinions on this topic, and I am curious to hear from you guys in those comments down below. How would you feel about a skin toggle, whether that's just...
Alright, we already wrapping this up. So let me go ahead and throw my little final thing on there. Yeah, it would be a great idea. That would be, in a perfect world, that would be great to have a skin filter, to have only the outfits that's supposed to be in that time frame or in that particular setting, but that shit just ain't gonna happen, man. It just ain't. I mean, I would love for it to happen. That would be a great, and we could have that, and then they could tone down that little skill-based matchmaking and really improve the anti-cheat. But we're so far in the Call of Duty. You heard what the executives said. What they said? Call of Duty is too big to fail. Man, you got motherfuckers that's running shit, saying shit like that. We not getting nothing that's gonna actually benefit us. Because how they look at it is, we already fucking making millions. Why we gonna add some shit that could fuck it up? That's just their way of viewing it. So it is what it is at this point. But shout Exclusive Aces, great video, man. Like I said, in the perfect world, we should have had that. We would have that, but it's never gonna happen. With that being said, fuck it. It is what it is. You play Black Ops 7, you don't play Black Ops 7. I don't give a fuck either way. We all gonna die one day, so don't none of this shit matter. And with that being said, I'm gone.